It's 2 a.m. again. The charts are still glowing even if the world outside has gone dim. There's something about this hour when the noise dies down and the thoughts grow louder that traders come face to face with themselves. Welcome back to the Midnight Trading. Tonight we're going to talk about why most traders fail. Not because they're not smart, not because they don't want it badly enough, but because the market, like life, doesn't reward intensity. It rewards clarity. If this story finds you at a crossroads lost in a sea of green and red candles, maybe you'll hear something familiar in the silence. If it does, like, comment, and subscribe. Your story matters here too. Put on your headphones, dim the lights, and let's begin. The first time Leo made $800 in a day, he felt invincible. It was a clean scalp on a mid-cap tech stock he had read. The news caught the momentum and exited perfectly before the retracement. The money didn't matter as much as the feeling I was right. He screenshotted the trade, posted it in a Discord group, and leaned back in his chair like he had cracked something sacred. That was 3 weeks into trading. 3 weeks, and he already believed he had an edge. He didn't see the irony that the trade went up not because of his logic, but despite it. The setup was shaky. His entry was late. But the market, chaotic forgiving on good days, had made room for his conviction. Leo didn't care. He doubled down. He started waking up at 5 a.m., scanning for pre-market runners, listening to every Twitter space that mentioned gamma squeeze or order flow. He built dashboards, watched 10-hour trading psychology breakdowns, and plastered post-its on his wall with quotes like, "Losers average losers. Amateurs react. Professionals plan. Trade what you see, not what you think." But what he saw, what he thought he saw, was a future he could control. That was the first illusion. Certainty is seductive, especially when the candles seem to respond to your clicks, especially when your P&L graph curves upward like a storybook arc. Leo started thinking in terms of destiny. He told his girlfriend that one day he wouldn't need a boss. He posted on Instagram, "Trading isn't risky. Being broke is risky." But inside, something else was happening. Every win added pressure to win again. Every loss chipped away at his identity. And yet, he couldn't stop. Because quitting now would mean it was luck. So he stayed. Longer hours, tighter risk management, more tools. He bought the premium charting suite. He subscribed to unusual options flow. He tried scalping futures. Then crypto. Then options. And still the results were average. One good day, 2 bad ones. Net down for the month, but emotionally bankrupt by week 2. He didn't understand it. He was doing everything right. Or so he thought. He had confused effort with understanding. He had mistaken activity for mastery. He had fallen into the trap of control, the belief that if he just did more, he would finally make it. Here's what the market doesn't tell you when you're new. Most of it is noise. Not just the price action, but the inner chatter. The mind loves narrative. We crave reasons, patterns, causes. But the market doesn't care. It's not a story. It's a mirror. And what Leo saw in the mirror wasn't an edge. It was anxiety, disguised as confidence. There's a moment that comes for every trader who stays long enough. It's not loud. It's not cinematic. It's a quiet reckoning. It usually happens after a string of break-even months, after your 4th rebrand of your trading style, after you realize no indicator is going to save you. It happened to Leo one night in December. He had just taken his 6th trade of the day revenge trading after being down $300. He had broken every rule in his plan, if you could still call it a plan. The candle whipped against him. Stop loss hit. Account down 18% on the month. He didn't even get mad. He just stared at the screen. No thoughts, no noise. That was the moment the illusion cracked. Leo closed the charts, sat in silence, and for the first time in months, he asked the one question that matters. What if I don't know what I'm doing? That's where this journey really begins. Not with a win, not with a strategy, but with the humbling, painful, necessary truth that the market isn't something to conquer. It's something to understand, and understanding begins with yourself. Leo didn't quit. He took a week off, no charts, no discords, no trading podcasts murmuring in the background like white noise. Just silence. Real, heavy silence. The kind that doesn't ask you to act, only to listen. And when he came back, something was different. Not dramatic, not visible, just quieter. He deleted most of his indicators, muted a few Twitter accounts, turned off the flashing red notifications from that trading app that promised high-conviction breakout plays. He wasn't giving up. He was cutting through the noise. But noise has a way of returning like an echo. By month 4, Leo was green. Not wildly profitable. Not ready to post his results on Reddit. But green. Small gains, slower trades, tighter risk. He started journaling, not just entries and exits, but feelings. What was he chasing when he entered early? Why did he move that stop? Why was he staring at the chart like it owed him something? This part was working, but success, especially early success, has its own dangers. Because once the profits came, so did the whispers again. You could size up now. You're finally consistent. Maybe quit the day job. Why not try that altcoin breakout too? The voice wasn't loud. It was seductive, familiar. It was the market, but in his own voice. It happened fast. Leo had 3 green weeks in a row, a $1, $500 month. He was proud, focused, thinking clearly. But then came the trade he didn't plan. A biotech company with a press release before market open. He saw it too late already, up 60% in pre-market, but something in his chest sparked. It's not too late, the voice whispered. You've been nailing these lately. He entered, chased. It halted up and he was in. The dopamine hit before the market even opened. At the bell, the stock spiked, and then collapsed. Limit down. Trading halted again, this time on the way down. Leo froze. No stop-loss in place. He had wanted to see how it opened. His $1,500 green month was gone in 30 seconds. It wasn't the money that broke him. It was the feeling of betrayal. He had been disciplined, careful, reflective. He was doing everything right this time. And still he had slipped. Still he had believed the voice. And that voice wasn't from a newsletter or a Discord. It was him. The echo of every past impulse dressed up in new logic. This is the part where most traders spiral. Not because of the loss, but because of the shame. The mind doesn't say, you made a mistake. It says, you are the mistake. Leo didn't spiral, but he came close. He stared at the P&L. 1573. It wasn't a blow to his account. It was a blow to his narrative. Because in that moment, the truth came into view. He hadn't changed. He had just paused. There's a concept in trading no one talks about enough: emotional risk. We talk about position size, risk-reward ratios, stop losses, ATRs, breakout levels. But the real risk isn't in the chart. It's in you. It's the risk that one surge of adrenaline hijacks your whole month. That one comment from a trader online rewires your plan. That one inner story, I need to make this back, erases 3 weeks of progress. That's what happened to Leo. Not because he didn't know better, but because knowledge is fragile in the heat of the moment. And when the market moves fast, the mind reverts to muscle memory. And his muscle memory was still wired for noise. In the days that followed, Leo didn't open the charts. Not because he was afraid, but because he had to understand something deeper. Why did he still crave chaos? He realized something that most traders never admit. Part of him liked the thrill. Not just winning, but risking. The sharpness of the spike, the urgency, the rush. It wasn't about the money, it was about feeling alive. This is where many traders fall. Not on their charts, on their stories. They enter this game thinking they want freedom. But what they really want is to feel something. And the market gives them that until it doesn't. Until they're exhausted, chasing something they can't name. Trading not for profit, but for permission. Permission to be right, to prove something, to escape something. And until that pattern is broken, the trades don't matter. Because the mind will always return to the familiar, to the echo. One night, Leo sat at his desk. The chart was open, but the market was closed. No volume, no motion. Just the slow pulse of price history and his own. He closed the tab. No trades tomorrow. He didn't need a setup. He needed silence. There's a silence that isn't peace. It's not calm. It's not clarity. It's the quiet that comes after too much noise where the echoes are gone, but the questions stay. Leo entered that silence. No charts for days. No trades. Just long walks, a notepad, and a deep, gnawing need to understand what this all meant, because it couldn't just be about money anymore. He had lost before. But this felt like something else had cracked. Not his confidence, his identity. When you start trading, you don't think about who you'll become. You think about the wins, the screenshots, the someday where you make it. But the market doesn't just ask for your time. It asks for your sense of self. And slowly, Leo realized he had become someone he didn't recognize. Obsessive, reactive, constantly chasing, constantly compensating. Trading not with clarity, but with the fear of falling behind. This wasn't the dream. This was survival, disguised as ambition. He started journaling again. Not trades, just thoughts. What was he really afraid of? What did he actually want? It wasn't financial freedom, not really. That was the surface answer. What he wanted deep down was to feel secure, to feel like he had some control, like his future didn't depend on someone else's approval paycheck or market whim. But here was the twist. The harder he chased control, the more chaotic it all became. The mirror doesn't lie, and the market is a mirror. Every trade revealed a pattern, not just in price, in him. Fear disguised as logic, greed wrapped in high probability, avoidance masked as discipline. He went back through old trades and saw it clearly. He wasn't trading the market, he was trading his emotions, trying to fix something internal through something external. And the market doesn't care about that. One night, Leo remembered something his grandfather used to say. The more you need to win, the more you lose yourself trying. It landed differently now, because Leo saw it how much he needed it to work. How much of his self-worth was tied to green days. How he couldn't enjoy a weekend if Friday was red. And worse, how little room that left for actual growth. The breakthrough didn't come in a flash. It came slowly in pieces. A sentence here, a journal entry there. One day a question scribbled at 3 a.m. What if success isn't control? But surrender. That word hit hard. Surrender. Not in the sense of giving up, but in letting go of the need to be right. Letting go of needing to know. Traders hate uncertainty, but uncertainty is the only constant. And the ones who survive, the ones who thrive, aren't the ones who master prediction. They're the ones who master themselves. Leo wasn't there yet, but something shifted. He stopped trying to beat the market. He stopped trying to fix every mistake overnight. He started listening. He took a new approach. One trade a week. That's it. Only setups he truly understood. No alerts, no noise. If it wasn't clear, it wasn't taken. If he wasn't calm, he didn't trade. At first it felt like too little, but with each pass he felt stronger, sharper. Not because he was winning more, but because he was losing less of himself. There's a paradox in trading. The moment you stop needing it is the moment it starts to come together. Leo saw that now. He saw how his earlier self had been full of urgency, full of hustle, full of need. But now it was about stillness, not a stillness of inaction, a stillness of mind. The mirror still shows up. It shows up when a stock spikes without him, when a friend posts a 3x overnight, when the temptation creeps in to do more. But now Leo knows how to pause. He's learned to ask, is this the market talking? Or my ego? Am I trading a signal? Or a story? Most days that's enough. The mirror never goes away. It just stops being scary. Because once you know what's in it, once you've looked long enough, you stop needing to prove anything. You just trade, not to win, not to escape, but to listen. A year passed, not marked by P&Ls or percent gains, but by something quieter, almost invisible to anyone looking from the outside. Leo still trades, not every day, not for drama, not for dopamine, but for rhythm, for truth, for the quiet craft of doing something well even when no one is watching. He's not rich, but he's consistent. Some months green, some not. But none of it defines him anymore. He keeps a sticky note on the edge of his monitor. It says, control the process, let go of the outcome. It took him a year to understand that, another to believe it. And now he lives by it. Because the market doesn't reward urgency, it punishes it. It doesn't care how badly you want it. It doesn't hear desperation. It only responds to discipline. And discipline, Leo learned, isn't rigid. It's soft, quiet. It's the ability to sit through boredom without forcing action. It's the patience to wait 2 weeks for one trade, and the courage to close it in 5 minutes when it's wrong. There was a time Leo thought mastery looked like momentum. Fast trades, fast profits, fast growth. But now he knows. Mastery is a slow burn. It's unsexy, repetitive, full of small losses, skipped setups, rules followed. It's not about building the perfect strategy. It's about building the self who follows one. And that's the part no one wants to hear. 90% of traders fail, not because they're stupid, not because they can't read charts, but because they come here looking for escape. They think trading is freedom, but it's just another mirror. And most people can't handle what they see. They think it's about edge, but it's about emotional endurance. They want quick wins, but the market offers long losses first to strip you down, to see if you'll quit, to see if you'll mature, to see if you'll finally stop trying to control everything. Leo almost failed. Not once, not twice, dozens of times. He almost gave in to the gambler, the hustler, the little voice that still wants the shortcut. But he didn't. Because one night, staring at a $1.573 loss, he made a choice. This won't break me. This will build me. That was the turning point. Not a trade, not a system, a decision. The same one every successful trader makes quietly without fanfare. To keep going, to grow up, to get real. You want to not be part of the 90%? Then stop trading like everyone else. Stop chasing the next thing. Stop measuring your worth by your wins. Start asking harder questions. What's your real reason for doing this? Can you sit through silence? Can you follow your rules when no one is watching? Can you walk away when the market's on fire and still feel whole? Because that's what separates the 10%. Not a perfect system, a solid self. Sometimes Leo still stares at the chart a little too long. Sometimes he still gets tempted, still fights the voice. But now he smiles at it. Not because it's gone, because he knows it. Because he's walked through the fire of impulse and come out quieter. Because now, when he sits down to trade, it's not war. It's a conversation. Between him and the market. Between him and himself. No noise, no echo. just presence. And that is where the real edge lives. It's late now. Maybe you're lying in bed, earbuds in. Maybe you're staring at the ceiling thinking about your last trade or your next one. Maybe you felt like Leo. Maybe you are Leo. If so, take this with you. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest with the market, with your mistakes, with yourself. Because that's the only way through. Trading will test you. Not just your strategy, but your psychology. Not just your edge, but your ego. You'll face losses that feel personal, wins that feel undeserved. You'll doubt. You'll spiral. You'll learn. And if you stay with it, not chasing, not escaping, but refining, you'll find something deeper than profits. You'll find a version of yourself you can trust. That's the real gain. So, what's the part of you that still trades for the wrong reasons? What's the pattern you keep repeating? What would happen if you paused long enough to actually hear yourself? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And if this resonated, leave a like. Subscribe for more quiet reflections like this one. Success doesn't come loud. It doesn't arrive all at once. It grows, silently, slowly, like discipline. Put down the noise, put on your headphones, and remember, success begins in silence.